Hi, this is Duan Mala, and in this video I'm going to discuss my thoughts on the Squidward suicide. So you know Squidward suicide, right? It's like a SpongeBob Lost Episode creepypasta in it and stuff, and I'm just going to read it off a Wikipedia page because I don't know too much about it and stuff, so yeah. So bear with me, my mates. I gotta get this laptop here and stuff, so I'm just going to read it off a Wikipedia page in it. So yeah, I just want to start off by saying if you want an answer at the end, prepare to be disappointed. There just isn't one. Sorry I burped there, mate. Sorry I burped there. Alright, I was an intern at Nickelodeon Studios for a year in 2005 for my degree in animation. It wasn't paid, of course. Most internships aren't, but it did have some perks beyond education to adults. It might not seem like a big one, but most kids at the time would shit themselves over it. Now, since I work directly with the editors and animators, I got to view the new episode days before they aired. I'll go right to it without giving too many unnecessary details. They had very recently made the SpongeBob movie, and the entire staff was somewhat sapped. Sorry, shit, I mispronounced that in it. Sapped of creativity, so it took them longer to start up the season, but the delay lasted longer for more upsetting reasons. There was a problem with the series 4 premiere that set everyone and everything back for several months. Me and two other interns were in the editing room with the lead animators and sound editors for the final cut. We received the copy that was supposed to be fair of a Krabby Patty and gathered around the screen to watch. Now given that it isn't final, yet animators often put up a mock title card, sort of an inside joke for us, with phony, oftentimes lewd titles such as How Sex Doesn't Work instead of Rockabye Baby by Valve, when SpongeBob and Patrick adopt a sea Suckle up. Nothing particularly funny about, not about funny, but work-related chuckles. So when we saw the title card, Squidward Suicide, I'm a little sick. What? We didn't think more than a morbid joke. That's my brother laughing in it. Anyways, one of the interns did a small throat laugh at it. The happy-go-lucky music plays as is normal. The story begins with Squidward practicing his clarinet, hitting a few sour notes like normal. We hear SpongeBob laughing outside, and Squidward stops yelling at him to keep it down as he has a concert that night and needs to practice. SpongeBob says okay and goes to see Sandy with Patrick. The bubbles splash screen comes up and we see the ending of Squidward's concert. This is when things begin to seem off. While playing, a few frames repeat themselves, but the sound doesn't. At this point, sound is synced up with animation. So yes, that's not common. But when he stops playing, the sound finishes. He stops playing. The sound finishes as if the skip never happened. There is slight murmuring in the crowd before they begin to boo him. Not normal cartoon booing that is common in the show, but you could very clearly hear malice in it. Squidward's in full frame and looks visibly afraid. The shot goes to the crowd with SpongeBob in the center frame, and he is too booing very much, and like that isn't the oddest thing though. What is odd is everyone had hyper realistic eyes, very detailed, clearly not shots of real people's eyes, but something a bit more real than CGI. The pupils were red. Some of us looked at each other, obviously confused, but since we weren't the writers, we didn't question its appeal to children yet. The shot goes to Squidward sitting on the edge of his bed, looking very forlorn. The view out of his porthole window is of a night sky, so it isn't very long after the concert. The unsettling part is, at this point, there is no sound, literally no sound, not even the feedback from the speakers in the room. It's as if the speakers were turned off, though the status shows them working perfectly. He just sat there blinking in the silence for about 30 seconds. Then he started to sob softly. He put his hand tentacles over his eyes and cried quietly for a full minute more, all the while a sound in the background very slowly growing from nothing to barely audible. It sounded like a slight breeze through a forest. Sorry about that. That's my dad. I gotta wait for him to go so he doesn't disturb me. Okay, the screen slowly begins to zoom in on his face. By slow, I mean it's only noticeable if you look at shots 10 seconds apart, side by side. The sobbing gets louder, more full of hurt and anger. The screen then twitches a bit as if it twists in on itself for a split second, then back to normal. The wind through the trees sound gets slowly louder and more severe, as if a storm is brewing somewhere. The eerier part is this sound, and Squidward's sobbing sounded real, as if the sound wasn't coming from the speakers, but as if the speakers were holes. The sound was coming through from the other side. As good as sound as the studio likes to have. They don't purchase the equipment to be that good to produce sound of that quietly, mate. Quietly in it. Below the sound of the wind and sobbing, very faint, something sounded like laughing. It came at odd intervals and never lasted more than a second. So you had a hard time pinning it. We watched the show twice, so pardon me if things sound too specific, but I've had time to think about them. After 30 seconds of this, the screen blurred and twitched violently, and something flashed over the screen as if a single frame was replaced. The lead animation editor paused and rewound frame by frame. What we saw was horrible. It was a still photo of a dead child. He couldn't have been more than 6. The face was mangled, and the blooded one eye dangling over his upturned face popped. He was naked down to his underwear, his stomach crudely cut open, and his entrails laying beside him. He was laying on some pavement that was probably a road. Wait, where's my mother? Yeah.
Can you snap?
Yeah, go away. Shoot. Shoot. Sorry about that. Wait, I got a phlegm. Okay, well, I'm back now. Okay, the most upsetting part was that there was a shadow of a photographer in it. There was no crime tap, no evidence tags or markers, and the angle was completely off. For a shot designed to be evidence, it would seem the photographer was the person responsible for the child's death. We were of course mortified, but pressed on, hoping that it was just a sick joke. The screen flipped back to Squidward, still sobbing louder than ever before, and half body in frame. There was now what appeared to be blood running down his face from his eyes. The blood was also done in a hyper-realistic style, looking as if you touched it, you'd get blood on your fingers. The wind sounded now as if it were that of a gale blowing through the forest. There were even snapping sounds of branches, laughing. A deep... Wait, what does that say? Wait, motherfuckers, I gotta read it. Baritone, oh no. Baritone, lasting at longer intervals and coming more frequently. After about 20 seconds, the... Christ, it's hard to record when you're sick. The screen again twisted and showed a single frame photo in it. Yeah, you beautiful. I'll do it in a video, man. That was just my brother in it. So yeah, the editor was reluctant to go back. We all were, but he knew he had to do this. The photo was of what appeared to be a little girl, no other than the first child. She was laying on her stomach, her barites. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, motherfuckers, but I'm trying in it. Barites in a pool of blood next to her. Her left eye was too popped out and popped through it. Naked except for underpants, her entrails were shit, I can't fucking see properly in it. Piled on top of her above another crude cut along her back. Again, the body was on the strip, and the photographer's shadow was visible, very similar in size and shape to the first. I had to chalk back vomit, and one intern, the only female in the room, ran out. That show resumed. Sorry, I'm a little... About 5 seconds after this second photo played, Squidward went silent, as did all sound. Like it was when the scene started. Wait. When the scene started, he put his tentacle down and his eyes were now done in hyper-realism, like the others were in the beginning of this episode. They were bleeding bloodshot and pulsating. He just stared of the screen as if watching the viewer. After about 10 seconds, he started sobbing, this time covering his eyes. The sound was piercing and loud, and most fear-inducing of all is his sobbing, and was mixed with screams. Tears and blood were dripping down his face at a very heavy rate. Within sound came back, and so did the deep worst laughing of his time. The still photo lasted for a good 5 frames. The animator was able to stop it on the 4th and backed up. This time the photo was of a boy at the same age. I'm just going to skip all this. You just want to get to the bit where it says he committed suicide, right? I just don't really have the time. I'm really sick. I just got to read the final part just to get the point across here. We was just staring at the viewer for frame. So he was just staring at the viewer for 3 seconds and the shot quickly panned out on deep.
But yeah, so that was some that was a Wikipedia page I just read and stuff. Yeah, and it was about suicide.
Fucking hell.
And stuff. It's like the last SpongeBob episode, right?
So
and stuff. So yeah,
sorry, I'm sick and shit.
So the episode goes like this, right? Squidward, right? God, it's so hard to talk.
Again, stop. Squidward just started staring at the viewer.
So you know Squidward, right?
Of the face to fall.
And stuff in the episode, right? Squidward's suicide.
The frame of the face
Squidward's depressed and stuff like that because like he lost it.
The shot quickly panned out.
Fucking hell. He lost the
voice said do it. And we see Squidward's hand a shotgun. He immediately pulled the gun in his mouth and pulls the trigger.
He lost the clarinet concert and stuff. That's why he's like depressed and stuff like that and suicidal, you know. And then he at the end of the episode he kills himself and stuff. So yeah, and stuff. And I did used to do some research on Squidward's suicide, right? No, my nigga, it ain't me, man. I'm doing a video, man.
Hey, you want it?
Yeah, my nigga.
Shut up, man. Why would you say that out loud?
Man, just go away, man. I'm doing a video. I can't deal with you now, man. But yeah, so come on, you beautiful. But yeah. Oh, Christ. But yeah, so it's a Squidward suicide. But so yeah, I used to do a lot of research on it on YouTube and stuff and the internet and stuff, but mainly it was just on YouTube videos and stuff like that, you know. No, you know, top 10 creepypasta videos and stuff, so yeah. And stuff. And you should do some more research on it by yourself in your own free time if you do have free time and stuff, so yeah. So that's my thoughts on Squidward suicide. I'm sorry I can't say a lot because I'm sick and stuff, but I hope you do some research on it by yourself in your own free time. And yeah, and this is Duad Malice signing off, so that's my thoughts on Squidward suicide, and this is Duad Malice signing off, bye.